Alors, bonjour, bonjour, chers prêts à parleurs et prêtes à parleuses. Nous sommes maintenant à notre 5e interview pour les Fide Success Stories et aujourd'hui, j'ai le grand plaisir d'accueillir Manu Jindal. Il nous a contactés récemment, il y a quelques mois, suite à la recommandation d'un ami. Alors, ce qu'il voulait, c'était de combiner le French Toolbox que nous avons, le e-learning, avec des leçons privées. Il recherchait l'efficacité et il voulait un programme dans lequel il pourrait investir et avoir un retour sur investissement. Son but était de passer l'examen FIDE le plus rapidement possible et puisqu'il n'est pas un citoyen de l'Union européenne, il vient de l'Inde, il va vous se présenter plus tard, mais il devait passer son permis C. Donc, il a réussi récemment son examen FIDE. Merci beaucoup, beaucoup, Manu, d'être avec nous ce matin. Comment allez-vous?
Merci, ça va bien. Et vous?
Très bien, vraiment, c'est un plaisir de pouvoir parler avec vous en français ce matin.
Oui, bien sûr.
Est-ce que vous pourriez vous présenter en français, Manu, s'il vous plaît?
Oui. Je m'appelle Manu, je suis indien. J'habite à Lausanne, en Suisse. Je suis 36 ans et je suis marié. Le nom de ma femme est Surbi. Elle vit avec moi à Lausanne. Mes parents habitent en Inde. Euh, je suis venu à Lausanne pour faire mon MBA à la IMD Business School, aussi Lausanne. Aujourd'hui, je suis responsable du programme développement durable chez Nespresso. Je suis passionné par la création d'un impact positif sur la société et l'environnement. J'ai beaucoup d'amis en Suisse. J'aime ma vie en Suisse. Merci pour te parler, pour m'aider.
Vraiment, c'est un grand plaisir. Et vous savez, moi, ce qui me rend très heureuse, c'est d'entendre comme vous êtes à l'aise et confortable quand vous parlez en français comme ça. C'est formidable. Bravo, bravo.
Merci.
How long, we're going to switch to English.
Sure.
Not everybody understands or is at the right level yet to understand what we are saying in French. How long have you been studying French for, Manu?
So I took the 20 course Parler FIDE exam specific, and basically I started more or less November end, and I planned my 20 classes to finish by March end. So I spread it over like almost 3 months because there were Christmas holidays and all. So I would say one class a week, sometimes two, and sometimes a small break. So yeah.
But you had never learned French before contacting Prêt à Parler. No, you did some lessons before.
No, formally never.
I am very impressed because your pronunciation is very good. Very, very good. You can really pat yourself on the back. We can hear you really well. And what I find is fantastic is your level of confidence, as I was saying before. And this is the key when you speak a foreign language. If you
I agree.
in it, right?
You cannot feel ashamed that you don't know exact.
Exactly. And you know, I'm from Montreal in Canada. I have an accent. When I speak English, nobody really knows where is she from. They don't know. If I speak German, sometimes they're like, oh, there's a French accent somewhere. Italian, they could hear that as well. If I speak French, I can change it if it's the Quebec French or the more international French. But when I hear you speak French, I could not tell that you're from India. If you were on the phone with me, I wouldn't know. No, not at all. So well done. You've got a musical ear for the French language. Bravo, vraiment. C'est très beau.
Merci.
I find it so interesting because, you know, I love the pronunciation. I'm actually going to start teaching again. This is a little scoop I'm giving you. I'm going to give pronunciation boot camps very soon because I'm an opera singer. Did you know, Manu, that I'm
No.
an opera Singer? No. So when I started, I actually did all my studies in Montreal at McGill University, and I did opera and languages. I love both. And this is why I am always interested when I hear people speak French in the music that they produce, in the pronunciation. So maybe we'll have to talk about that on another podcast. So let's talk about FIDE. Tell me, Manu, why did you have to pass your FIDE exam?
So my reason was very specific that I was finishing my 10 years in Switzerland, and I thought it's better to finish it now that after 10 years, if you're non-EU, you need A2 oral and A1 written. But I did some written exams, mock, so I was very comfortable with that. I should get easily, but of course, you can always do better. So that's why I thought let's do it now, so that by the time I finish, it's not like long after, when I finish 10 years. So I thought time is now, I'm motivated. So better to finish it now and then have enough time to think about whether I want to go towards naturalization.
So I want to remind everybody that within 3 months, you prepared for the FIDE A2. That's correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So there you had to learn basically everything. I mean, I wanted to ask you what were the key learning points you needed to improve, but it was really getting from 0 to A2 in the private lessons.
I think I would say three things. First, I think a lot of what I knew French was unpolished. So, for example, I will know exactly how to say "je voudrais réserver un taxi" because you use it in a daily basis. But then, for some, like for Sandra, my professor, this was very good. But then I will not even know something very basic because, as I said, my learning was purely based on my needs on a day. So they were very limited or very rawish, that I will make some very silly mistakes and suddenly I will know something which you should know already at A2. So that was one reason to be a bit more polished about the French. Second, I think it was grammar specifically, because when you know like that, it's difficult to get the grammar right, specifically past tense. It's not at all easy for an English speaker like me,
Mhm.
because of many different reasons. So I think so that was second reason, because I understood that for A2 you really need to showcase that you have a skill of past tense, and which I saw in the exam also. So Sandra really prepared me well, that you need to show them, you need to find a way to show them that you know past tense. And third, I think it's more about being in the mindset uh, that you so what we did, maybe I'm answering your next question, but what we did is that in the 20 classes, I was always from the beginning, me and Sandra was very open communication, that how we need to make sure that we balance theory and practice. So by the 12th class, we more or less covered our theory. So then the 8 classes were really about going through the motions of the exam situation. And I think that really was very, very helpful, because it really makes you prepare before the class, and you really can practice in the class. You speak a lot, you just don't discuss theory, and you find your mistakes, which I fully remembered when I was giving the exam. You remember exactly, okay, there you will go wrong, with masculin femina or un or so I was well prepared in that sense. Yeah, so third was more to get in the mindset of the exam.
Yes. And you could avoid all the traps and the little catches because you had prepared before. Sandra had told you, oh, here, be careful, remember this and that. And so, probably knowing that you are efficient focused, within 3 months, you were able to really focus in 12 lessons with Sandra on the essentials, and then afterwards focus on the FIDE scenarios, preparing.
Yep.
Avoiding all the catches and the
And
traps.
also kill the surprise element. No, like usually people know everything, but exam makes people very surprised.
Yes.
And I wanted to kill the surprise, that I should really feel that I'm doing another class.
Exactly. So it's not as stressful. Of course, having to pass an exam always brings its level of stress. But when you've prepared for it, you know what will be more or less in the exam.
Yep.
There's much less stress. And
Yep.
it feels like, okay, I'm going to a French class. There's a bit of stress, but I know I can do this. So
Yeah, till the time I knew, me and Sandra always said, like, till the time they don't suddenly ask something totally new, it should be okay. So that confidence we always carried, that if I manage not to make some silly mistakes and there is no surprise, the preparation was good, I would say.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Can you tell me what your mother tongue is? Because I know that in India there are many, many dialects.
So in India, meaning where I grew up, we spoke 3 languages, or we learned, and all 3 are different scripts. So that's important. Like, people may not know. So when I say I know English, Hindi, and Punjabi, it's not like European language where more or less the root is same, right? You use English alphabets. In all 3 languages, there are different alphabets. So I knew 3 languages, and you can say all 3 are kind of very native. If it Indians, English is very, very native. You start speaking when you are in 2nd grade, 1st grade, kind of a very good English. There's a pressure to be immaculate very quickly.
So knowing that your mother tongues are English, Punjabi, and Hindi, when you first started learning French, did you consider it a challenging language? What was your rapport to the language when you started?
I think, as I said, like, given my goal was not to become like I can do everything in French, I knew also, because I lived here a bit, and you do speak. I think I was not that worried, to be very honest. I think for me, the main challenge was bit of pronunciation. Just 1 second, sorry. Band kar do. So pronunciation was, I was very careful, and Sandra really kind of also pointed that out. Like, I was really wanted to work on pronunciation, because I didn't want it that I'm saying something right, but still people are not getting me. Yeah, so for me that was more important. The challenge part was, which I would say everybody may tell you, is masculine femina in French. It is still the challenge. I won't say I still know it 100%, but I think you just need to find the confidence to get around it. Rest, I think I think this is why you take the classes, to be very frank, because you just want to be in a zone so that you can cut the noise, because there's so much noise when you're learning some things. So you just want to make sure that, okay, there is amazing, its languages are amazing, there's so much to learn, you can never say you know enough, but my focus right now is to learn this much. And I think that takes the stress and the challenge away also.
It is such a good way to explain it, because I'm going to tell you a secret, and it won't be a secret anymore. Most French speakers don't master their language. The French language is so complex, and I think it's probably the same for any language.
True.
We don't know all the rules. We make mistakes. We don't know all the vocabulary there is in the dictionary. So when you say that you focus on what's the most important for you, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. And I think as an expat or as a non-Swiss resident of Switzerland, what we need with French is just the minimum to get by, and then we build on that. And then we start having fun and being a bit closer to our own personality and making jokes and that kind of thing. This is so interesting. Thank you so much, Manu. I love to hear your opinion on how it was for you to learn French. Can you tell me, what was the reason you reached out to us, to Prêt à Parler, to prepare for the FIDE exam?
I think for me, you have this webinar which is open for everyone. I think so when I went to the webinar, I think it was very easy decision that this is the approach I wanted. So for me, the decision became very quick that end of the day, I will not do this preparation 10 times. I don't have that patience or energy. So why don't I go what I felt is best suited for me? So that's why I thought, if the approach is very specific to FIDE exam, it's not about learn everything on French and then it is 20 classes. I thought when I kind of did my first class with Sandra, because you allow, there's one class where you can kind of a demo, or where you check a bit where we are. So with Sandra, we more or less agreed that 20 should be, it's not enough, but we can push, and 20 could be enough to reach a level where if I, and also end of the day, if I can say so, Parler can do a lot for you, but end of the day, the onus lies on you also, right? Like if you will just go to the classes and do the class and then do nothing, I don't think so you will pass. I'm sorry to say. I think it's a collaboration, and you need to be also invest in the process. Otherwise, it's easy to say, oh, I did the class, but I didn't get it because there was an issue with you or any other institute. But end of the day, it's a mutual collaboration. So you need to be very clear with, you need to invest. So I must say, yes, couple of weeks I was, when you're a bit tired with work, but most of the weeks, you know that I will go to the class, so I cannot. It's kind of a self accountability. You can't go to the class if Sandra has told me to do certain things. It's good for me to do, because otherwise, it's not. We are not respecting the mutual consent that we will both invest in it. So yeah.
Absolutely. This is a commitment when you invest in a language program, especially in private lessons, because there's a real investment. To get the return on your investment, you need to commit to it and to attend your lessons and to work outside as well, to make the work outside the class, because we can offer the best language program we can, have the best teachers, but if you don't do the work after that, then it's not going to happen. And you did the work, so give yourself a pat on the back for that. You did, and you did that within 3 months. That's amazing. We have 2 last questions.
Sure.
When and where did you pass your FIDE exam, and what were the results?
So I passed my exam in Voxia Learnings, which is in San Francisco in Lausanne, on 9th April, and I got the results what I was basically preparing for. So I got A2 on both oral and written. On on oral I got 85%, and on written I got 100%.
Congratulations, Manu. This is amazing. Within 3 months to have reached this level, this is fantastic. Really.
Now, for me, 100% was a bit of a surprise. I was expecting 95, 94, but 100 was a bit of a surprise.
A nice surprise, I hope.
Yeah, meaning end of the day, you just need to pass for passport, or meaning for your Permit C, but you just feel good if you, in anything, if you get 100%, I think you feel good.
You feel good. Absolutely. You deserve a big bottle of champagne, don't you think? If you like champagne, it could be something else. I want to say how much of a success story your story is. Congratulations, Manu. Hearing your story, and in order to inspire other French learners to really prepare for success, can you tell me, what would you like to tell other expats or non-Swiss residents living in Switzerland who are hesitating to take online private lessons with us? What would you like to tell them?
I think for me, like, have your goal very clear. If you are a bit like not sure that it can take a lot of time and all that, I think the FIDE prep course of Parler is for you, because you can choose to, you can define the time like 5, 20, all these classes. So I think you can tailor made a bit and you can build on it. Second, I think what you said, you don't need to learn all the French in one day. You can start by saying, okay, let me go towards A1, and then I build on it with A2, and then I go to B1. I think just defining your roles and your targets will help you also with whether you need a passport or whether you need a Permis C. Third, I think for me, what I really want to say, and which I didn't get the opportunity during our conversation, I think ability to select the professor, like when I did with Sandra, and I luckily, meaning I did a class with her and I found it. I think for me that is really, for me, what I would say, working with Sandra was absolute pleasure, because I think she really understands that why I'm doing it. This is not fun, to be honest, that as a hobby, this is something serious. And I
It's
think
hard. Yes.
and it's frustrating sometimes because you don't even get something basic. But I think she was, while, like, it's not like she was there just to sugarcoat. She challenged me many a times. She told me many a times, like, you are not going to the level which you need to, so you can work hard. So I think it was a good balance. It was well customized. And yeah, we connected where I knew that she has best interest of mine. He's not just doing a class for sake of doing a class. So I think, yeah, I just want to also tell, like, I don't know if Parler allows it, but I think it's good for students to see if not that one is right professor, one is not, but you need to find that connection, because it's important. I think otherwise it becomes very mechanical. So I think it's important that you can talk. And when sometimes we spoke about French, and I liked Sandra, just to give one example, every class she started about asking us, so what did you do? So you talk a bit about your life and all, and you feel you are talking kind of to a professor, but who is also not here just to tick the box.
Exactly. It's almost like a friend, a coach, someone, it's a language companion, I would say.
Yeah, and for me, it's also like end of the day, the return on investment, as you said, is very clear. I think I can guarantee anybody, if you are serious about 20 classes, and of course, if you just come to Switzerland, maybe you need much more than 20. But if you spend some time, you can speak a bit when you go to a co-op or a Migro or a farm market or a restaurant. I think if you invest diligently in 20 classes over a couple of months, I do feel you can be rest assured that you can get A2. Of course, somebody will get 90, somebody will 80, but end of the day, your goal is to pass and feel comfortable that you did it. And I think then it's much better, as you rightly said, it's an investment, because a private class, I would say it's just you need to be very calculative in your choice, because
Yes.
we all know there are two choices: do Parler specific private lesson fide, or you go to some place. One advantage of Parler for also for me was I could schedule my own classes as per my timelines, and we could even cancel sometimes, unfortunately, 24 hours before. But some of my friends, and again, as I said, I'm not thinking other things are wrong, but for some people, if they commit to one place where you have to go every Thursday, it becomes sometimes difficult in current life system if you're working. So I think also it's advantageous for people who know they cannot commit to every week, one day, same time. So I think that really helped for me also, that we could always, like, we did some classes Saturday 9 a.m. Like, okay, I'm free Saturday. So I think those things really helped me also, that. And I would say to everybody, you know, you, at least I can say, maybe I would not have been able to do it again. So you should do your enough research, and I'll rather invest more and get the job done than try to, when I say invest, both money and time, rather than elongating the whole process and maybe spending a bit less, but then feel I'm not doing the best thing. So for me, this is who I am. I want to be very motivated and get things done. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Choose the right, connect with the professor, invest, take the decision where you're going to invest. It's not like, it's not a recipe that take 20 classes and you are done. You need to work hard and be confident. I think confidence is also the key. You need to be very confident that you will speak. It's a matter of time, you will speak.
Yes. You need to let go. You need to dare to speak and to make mistakes. And you need to just go for it, to commit to it. I love that you talked about the flexibility. I love that you talked about the relationship with the teacher. I really believe, because I stopped teaching for about 4 years, but when I started Prêt à Parler, it was only me teaching with all my clients. And I really believe that the teacher makes all the difference. If you love working with someone, you will learn. If you don't like what you're learning and you don't like the person who teaches you, you're not going to learn, and you will have a kind of bad feeling to the language, because we know in the past some people came to us and they said, I don't like French, but I need to prepare for the FIDE and I have to do it. And when they stopped doing when they finished and they passed the exam, they said, actually, I really enjoyed learning French. So it makes such a difference who you learn with and how you learn it. So we really try to adapt to your learning style. For some people, they have to be really methodical and really organized, and others, they want to talk, and that's how they learn. They need to talk, and then the grammar is integrated. Some others, they need a combination like you of the e-learning, the French toolbox with the private lessons. So I think the difference between Prêt à Parler and maybe other language school is that we really adapt. We try our best to adapt to your learning style, your specific learning style.
Yeah, and I think that's why why people probably should also invest, right? Like that comes at a cost, and the private thing, it comes at a cost. So for me, as I said, it's one-time investment, so better to make it smart.
Exactly. It's a long-lasting investment. You invest in it, but it will stay afterwards. It will be in you, like riding a bike. It never goes away,
Sure.
right? Thank you so much for your time, Manu. That was such a pleasure to speak with you.
Thanks to you, and yeah, I'm happy I already applied for my Permit C, so
Yes, we're
it's all moving
fingers
smoothly.
crossed. Let us know when you receive it. And we wish you all the best for the next part, the next few years. We hope you'll feel it more and more comfortable in French, more and more, you'll dare even more to speak more French every day now that it's there. 10 years in the country, now the world is your oyster. There are lots of Francophone countries you can visit now that COVID is over, and you can practice your French this summer and in the future as well.
Merci, Isabel, and yeah, I'm pretty happy that after a long time, you prepare for something specific and you achieve it. It's a good motivation to
Feels good.
so now do something else.
Oui, exactement. Une chose à la fois, hein, à chaque fois.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Je vous souhaite une bonne continuation et à la prochaine, Manu.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bonne journée. Au revoir.
Au revoir.